please welcome Jonathan Fader.
Hi, Valerie. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Tell me a little bit about New York Virtual Offices.
Well, our company is City Space Suites. What we have is physical offices for short-term use by businesses, small businesses mostly. And a service that we provide there, New York Virtual Office, virtual office is a way for a small business to use all the amenities of an office, have a receptionist, use a mailing address, even have a virtual personal assistant, but not actually have a physical office with us at our space. So it really provides a small business or a business that would like to present a better sort of face for their business, a great opportunity to do that at a really low cost.
How did you come up with this idea, and how did you start the business?
Well, it's actually really interesting. My alter ego, actually, I'm a psychologist.
Okay.
And my other two partners are also psychologists.
Okay.
And we started building offices for therapists. And we started to look around, and we found that actually there was more of a market. People were more interested in general business offices. And so we started to do that, and we found that a lot of people really couldn't afford to make that leap yet with their business to have a full-time office that they were renting. So they did a lot better, really, using a program like using voicemail or something like that. And we found that through VoIP, through internet technology, we could provide them really with the same technology in their home that allowed them total mobility and allowed them to really use the same services that the folks were using in our actual offices at a fraction of the cost. So it really gives a small business a way to grow and really present for themselves in a way that you can't really do when you're really growing. And as a small business owner, I know what it's like to be there at the very beginning.
How many physical offices do you actually have?
Well, we have about, at this point, we currently have about 40 or so, and we're building out right now in Chelsea and a couple other areas. So about the end of the year, we'll have about 100 physical offices. And then we have various conference rooms in those
100 physical offices, meaning per person?
Well,
or like physical
actual office space.
Office spaces.
Right.
Okay.
And then so for our virtuals, we call them,
Okay.
it kind of sounds like they've kind of float in somewhere. They can actually reserve a conference room,
Okay.
or just use our office to receive their mail or get their phone answered by our receptionist.
How long ago was it when you started this?
We started the virtual program this past year.
Okay.
But we've been building out these office suites. City Space Office Suites is a company that's been around for a couple of years now, building office suites for small businesses in New York City.
Okay.
And the unique thing about our business really is that we provide a really creative kind of downtown feel for people. And we think of ourselves kind of like a hotel for a business. So we try to provide any kind of service that people would want. If they're looking for consulting or they're looking for help in terms of pitching their business, we'll hook them up with a 15-second pitch, for example.
Okay.
If they're looking for services around business consulting, we'll hook them up with a business consultant. If they need someone to go get their laundry, we'll find someone to do that. We really try to make it as easy as possible for them to do their business with us. So,
what's the most interesting business that's using your services?
we actually have a helicopter pad on the roof that we have people go down through a pole. No, I'm just kidding.
You got me there.
We've had modeling agencies. We have Orbits in there at this point. And we have everything from modeling agencies to travel agencies to lawyers to doctors, pretty the full spectrum. And one thing that you bring up too is the greatest thing about a business suite or having a virtual office is that you're really exposed to so many networking opportunities when you're in that business suite, because there are other kind of opportunities for what we like to call cross-pollination, right?
Right.
There's opportunities to meet other people. We like cross-pollination better than networking. It just sort of has more of a robust feel. You see that people really get hired. People hire each other. People find jobs and opportunities in that kind of very fertile environment for businesses. So while working from home can be efficient financially, it doesn't allow you the opportunity to really meet and network like having a virtual office or like having a physical office if your company is growing to that point.
It's nice to have that, group of people working around you, so that if you're not working, it seems like, you better get to work.
Exactly.
Right?
There's nothing more helpful than having someone watching over you there. We provide that service too. We'll have someone come and watch you while you work, just to make sure you're doing it efficiently.
Have you had any challenges in setting up this business?
I think the biggest challenge that we had initially is allowing people to understand and appreciate what a virtual office was.
Okay.
You know, when you say virtual office, there's these images of avatars walking around online talking to each other, you know, sort of, it conjures up images of the early 80s and AOL and, you know, just people not understanding how this business works. But really what we try to explain to people, and once people get it, there's an unbelievable demand for it. In other words,
Right.
once people really understand it, or a community understand as we start getting calls from that community, once people understand that for a very low cost, you can have an office, 817 Broadway. Put that on your website, put that on your business card. You know, it's very impactful. We really believe that the way that companies grow is working together. So any company that has an idea of how to work with us, we're totally open to it.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jonathan.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming.